LEC. We are live from the Riot Games Arena in Berlin, Germany for the very last time this year. I know it's sad, but maybe it'll be great because we get a fantastic best of 5 between Fnatic and MDK, and the winner goes straight to the grand finals over in Munich. My name is Shax, and I'm joined by Broxa and Odawamne. And as you might notice, Odawamne is in a good mood. That is about as rare as a solar eclipse, so take it all in, guys.
Hi.
Enjoy.
What is it? Why are you so excited? Is it because it's the upper bracket final?
That, but also G2 got pushed to the limit yesterday, which is honestly, you know, everyone looks at the fact that they reverse swept and it's sad for BDS, but at the same time, G2 has been the final boss for us and we have never really oftenly seen them, you know, get pushed to the finals, and having them reverse sweep for the first time since 2019 has been quite an accomplishment for them.
It is worth noting, though, that the 3 teams that are left, G2, MDK, and Fnatic, have all reverse swept BDS earlier this year. So, not the greatest time to be a BDS player or fan, for that matter.
Yeah, that is crazy. That's like one of those added stat lines. You know, they've been reverse swept twice before this. Now it's 3. They have ended the series 3-2 4 times before this time. Now it's 5. Whenever they started losing a game, they never recovered. You know, it's sad for BDS because unfortunately, I do think that mental aspect, Broxa, was important. And that's just something, unfortunately, they have to deal with because their season is over. They cannot go to the season finals, and it is G2, I would say, then deservedly.
Yeah, I think ultimately, if we look at not only this split, but the year as a whole, G2, of course, does deserve to be at the Roadshow in Munich and still have a shot at going all the way. BDS has been in this unfortunate spot where they've kind of been the gatekeepers, so close to the top, but not fully able to actually make it there.
And Odo, if you want to get anywhere in EU, you have to beat G2, and unfortunately for BDS, MDK did do that.
Yeah, everyone is bashing on MDK for the fact that they're making worlds with, you know, low win rate and whatever, but they are the only team so far with Fnatic, which is really fitting for the rest of the season finals right now, that have beat G2 in the past. So for me, it is deserved because no one else has done it except these 2 teams.
Yeah. Wait, Fnatic and... Yes, and those
Fnatic
are also
and
the
MDK,
teams
yes.
in the season finals. So, yeah, it all works out. Talking about MDK and the way they really took down G2, they had a lot of chaos in draft. So let's check out last week's Kia mic check.
All right, my friends.
Yes.
Let us fight.
Hola.
Hey guys, we have officially cooked.
Yes. Guys, if we didn't know what it was about to happen, imagine them, you know, like...
We're gonna have to be a bit smart, okay, about the... oh, ho, ho, ho.
Go Vex?
Oh, Vex, yes. Yes.
Hey, no, hey, but
Yes.
they can go full AP because they are G2, but we cannot, no? Ah, okay.
By the way... What about Galio?
Gali is an option, yeah.
Oh la la.
I can do Galio, actually, yeah.
Yep.
Oh la la. Oh
I'm
my
fucking, I
god.
like it.
Yep.
That's fine. That's fine.
Galio, my god, crazy.
I think Smolder is fine, Method.
Good guys.
Smolder.
On the top Sarah mid, or Astral mid maybe. It's probably Astral mid actually.
Yeah,
Okay, whatever.
probably Smolder top and
DB.
very medium.
Nah.
Thank you, Merzet. You've made a great decision.
Yes.
I really like it. I really
We
like
talk after the game.
Okay, so I don't need that?
Neither.
Nina? Okay.
It's nearly top. Yeah.
Can you just throw,
Go Aurelia, right?
go Aurelia and just full clear the top and just dive him? Or?
Now we dive him.
What is this?
Hey,
Wait, open. Nice! Nice! Yes, we play this so good! Oh my god! Yo!
Guess we get to play some more League of Legends next week.
Nice.
Yeah.
By the way, and guys, we will never play Nidalee top again. It looks so bad. No, what do you mean so bad?
Well, excellent strat. If they didn't know what they were doing, they still won. And that was, you know, you get to kind of like embarrass the enemy team extra much if you go, well, we didn't even know we were going to play it and we're still going to kill it.
It was quite polarizing because everyone was like, oh, they're genius, the Nidalee top is great and everything. And then at the end, you see LUS saying, yeah, you're not playing this champion ever again. So it was an amazing glimpse into how these teams operate.
Exactly, because they could just lie and say, hey, we're not doing this ever again. But
They're
they will actually
us
do
all.
it. Yeah.
We'll see today. Anyways, we're expecting some crazy picks out of Mirren. And I want to play a little game called Are Your Picks Lulu or Delulu? And then after that, we will also kind of try and determine if Mirren did in fact play it or not. So my analysts have their Lulus. Perfect. This is the first one. Okay, we got a Victor.
Oh, Victor.
But this has been played top in the past. Like, this was an older school thing.
5-6 years ago.
Yeah, that's in the past.
Okay,
Thank you for clarifying.
No way Merwin played this, and no way we're gonna see it in competitive because this is like as Mad Lions, they cook a bit too much, so I am not expecting this to happen today. So
It's the old Renekton rule as well. If you can dive it, it's probably not good for top lane. This seems like you're not getting away from it.
He did play it in solo queue.
What?
Yeah. What do you think of the build?
it makes sense, but it is a little bit overcooked. If it comes out today, I would be extremely surprised.
A little bit overcooked. Okay, let's take a look at our next one, Lulu or Delulu.
What we got?
LeBlanc. I mean, I feel like we've seen this a lot, no? Have we? You like it?
It is Lulu because
a lot.
it does make sense because Merwin does like this sort of AP champions that bully the laning phase early and then looks to have mobility and snowball the game. So I am a fan of this. The other one didn't look so great, but this one ticks all the check marks for Merwin.
I don't ever want to see this top lane. Actually, now that I think about it, you can get this one for me. I don't want to play against this. I don't want to see it.
It doesn't matter. Like, did he play it or not?
I don't think Merwin played this.
What do you think?
I think he played it.
No, it was Zeus in solo queue.
There you go. Also, production would never do this twice. It's like when you do a math test and you're like, no, it can't be A two times in a row.
Okay, third one.
This one for sure. It has to be a 2-in-1 special.
Maybe.
I mean, that is his old school Auri. He used to play AD.
That's like his pick.
Exactly.
Oh my God! What a creature!
What am I looking at?
Yeah, I'm going Lulu because I'm sure that he must have played it. If not him, then no one else. Did he play this in competitive? No,
He did. No,
so.
he played it when he played on Bisons actually.
Wow, look at this. Someone who actually did their
made your homework, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Chill out.
I played it in LVP fantastically by Merwin, and I mean, it sets us up fantastically for the matchup as well.
I'll take your day.
Thank you for your service, gents. It's okay. Laura's now standing by in the Marriott Bonvoy pregame lobby with the other player who performed his Champion Ocean last week.
Thank you so much, guys, and FLICKR, thank you so much for joining me ahead of today's series. These guys were talking about what you guys have been cooking and whether it's a good option or not, Lulu or Delulu. But so I want to ask about your champion pool, actually, because it feels like you're having fun. We heard that through the mic check and everything. What allows you to think that a champion that you pick that's not particularly meta is actually going to work?
I mean, we just trust that we can pull out certain champions. We believe we are talented people and we are confident nowadays, fortunately, because it has been times that we are not so confident.
Yeah.
So when we're in that kind of state mentally, I think we're not afraid to pull out anything, and that's our approach, kind of. Like, we don't really practice everything because obviously there is so many champions in League of Legends that you cannot really practice everything in scrims. So we are just trusting that we can pull it out kind of first time or like with few games in solo queue. So yeah, that's basically it.
It can lead to pretty much anything, but also it gives a lot of flex potential within you guys. So let me ask you, who's the best Zeri in the team?
I mean,
I'm not even sure that's your AD carry anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure. I would say the most natural one is Supa probably.
Okay.
But I would say the competition is really close since we've been spamming Zeri, all of us, a lot. So
all right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, following up on the voice comm that we heard from you guys, what can the enemy know about what you're doing if you guys don't know what you're doing? Actually, that's how it sounds like. You just decide on the fly.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't know what we are going to pull out today in terms of picks. We don't really have clear in our heads what we are going to play because we are really open-minded again. Like, we have a lot of ideas of what can we actually pull out. We need to see also enemy draft to adapt to it, what we are going to pick today and in general in the series. So I'm really looking forward for it because it's going to be really fun, yeah.
Outside of enemy draft, people might think that Fnatic choosing the red side and leaving you guys on blue side might make it complicated for you to flex this kind of position and innovate in picks. Is there anything you would like to say to people thinking stuff?
I mean, sure, they can think whatever, but I think in blue side you can still flex a lot of things, so I don't think it's like a disadvantage that we go on blue side. I think it's really still a strong side to be able to play the first game, so I'm really looking forward to it. It's gonna be a fun series, so I'm really excited, yeah. After
that, I'm really excited as well. FLICKR, thank you so much for the interview. Best of luck today.
Well, apparently not too sad that Fnatic maybe has figured them out, allegedly, since Fnatic elected to go on the red side. But there they are, Fnatic looking to get to another final. And MDK looking to go to the grand final at the season finals, even though they haven't been there since winter, GB. MDK are the best min-maxers I've ever seen in my life.
They just know how to peak when they need to peak, and they consistently do it. What can we say? I mean, I do think that they deserve being here. Like, it's top 6 that make it to season finals. They beat G2 in the upper bracket. Sure, what else can you say?
Absolutely. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Broxa up in this upper bracket final. Talk to me about what you think the most important matchups are.
Well, I think it's going to be very centered around jungle and top lane. Top lane, of course, we've seen the Mervin spicy picks already. We've seen Oscar really level up throughout this year. Jungle, specifically Razork. I was about to say arguably, he is the best jungler in the league right now. Elyoya, former best jungler in the league, and that's going to be a great matchup to follow. Also worth noting that while we can talk about spicy picks and whatnot, all these guys love playing aggressive.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just always these two, as you said yourself. Razork's really just been the best jungler in Europe, I mean, throughout the entire year, but it's just one of those things where it used to be Elyoya. That was the guy that we were looking at when we were talking about the best jungler, and it's just come to a point where he's now having to reclaim his throne because Razork's sitting on him for so
I think
long.
it's so interesting when you talk about top and jungle, and those stories really mirror each other. One, these are 4 Spanish players, but also, by the way, Fernando Cardenete had an amazing write-up about the history between Oscarinen and Mervin, but the fact that Oscarinen was always one step ahead, right? The same you could say for Razork, but then Elyoya came onto the scene, and it's just so interesting that these are the 2 teams, and these are the matchups that we're going to see for that grand final spot.
No, absolutely, and it just feels poetic in that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I really love the kind of narratives we've got going on in a matchups like this, and I love the fact that it's just from such a different perspective, at least with what they're bringing out in terms of picks, but you're right in terms of story, right? When Oscar got into the scene in the beginning, he was bad. I'm sorry, right? He had some horrible games, and it looked like it was a mistake having Oscar in here. But the fact that he then nurtured himself into being a top-tier, top laner in the league really speaks for itself, and Mirin, he's trying to go on that same path.
Look at those champions.
Would you say same path? I mean, look at the champion.
I mean, that's how they
spicy
differ.
path if I've ever seen one. But yeah, I definitely think you're right. And the beauty of it is that Oscar is slowly cementing himself as the superstar top lane of Europe, with Mervin still in his first year, still having so much room and opportunity to really prove himself. And if he can go up big and take down Oscar today, that is the first step in that direction.
I'm also really happy to hear that they still don't have a clue, right? That they have all their picks and that they'll just adapt to the situation. So, but from your gut, you still have to say MDK still feels like the underdog, and I know they took down G2, but when you're up versus a Fnatic, who I think many have such a high ceiling, just it's that they don't hit it consistently. Unfortunately, do you guys agree, and what's your prediction?
Well, I think definitely going into the series, MDK is going to be a slight underdog, but at the same time, I know from experience that every single time I predicted Fnatic to win a series, they ended up losing. And I made that mistake too many times. I think it's going to be pretty close. I think it could easily be a 5-game series, and I'm going to predict MDK to take it 3-2.
So you trying to counter jinx it, or do you actually believe in MDK? Okay.
Everything, really.
Okay, it's good to know. But I gotta say as well, I think no matter what, today is gonna be super chaotic, right? MDK against G2, they just brought so much chaos and they played into all these wacky picks. And I think against a team like Fnatic, who's also so good at getting sucked into all this chaos, at least from what we've seen in the past.
Yep.
We're just in for a good treat of team fights and wacky picks. But in the end, I do think we have to give Fnatic the respect of what they have achieved and the level of play they've achieved this year. I think for sure they're the favorites coming into today, and I predict Fnatic to win this series.
With what score?
That's a great question. Honestly, I might as well just, let's say 3-2 and hope for 5-game bangers again.
Sure, why not? Let's make the last day in the studio a long one. I love it. I also hope that because these teams are now also both already locked into the World Championship, that we get kind of, the best version of them. They can play, of course, they have stress to get into the finals, but they're going to Munich regardless, right? So hopefully that will up their level.
Yeah, but I think for us it's easy to say they're playing without any pressure and it's already locked. When for them, this is do or die. They're playing for the spot in the final. They're playing to showcase that they're the best in their position in Europe, and it's going to be bloody for that reason.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what we're looking forward to. Indeed, for Fnatic, they're clawing their way back up that mountain into those finals, and they really want to win one. And it would be great if they get another chance next week in Munich. But there's also MDK. They've always been the underdog, but you know what? They like those odds. It's time for the match of the week delivered by Uber Eats.